Hi, Katie Snap from Skirt Strategies. I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the 12-week version of the Time to Fly course, how to go out on your own to become a consultant or even a coach. Now, we've already decided it's a big decision for you if you're wanting to know, what are those 12 weeks, just a little bit more about. Think of yourself as being dedicated to it, probably a couple hours a week. Hour and a half of that will be on the phone with me in a small group of other women that'll hold you accountable and share with you what their thoughts and inputs are. And those 12 weeks will look like the following. I'll give you a rundown of all of those, not really in great detail here, but so that you get a feel. The first couple of weeks is about the power of focus and the power of dreaming. I want you to come to grips with what you know you're good at, where your head is today, where your head is wanting to be, and why you're seeing yourself as worthy of going out on your own. Flip side of the coin, we'll also look at why we devalue ourselves and what might be holding you back so far. What's different about all of these 12 weeks is that this is dedicated just for the way women think and the way women go through sometimes self-sabotage, sometimes undervaluing, and so we're going to deal with a lot of that. We'll drill down into some short-term focus assignments, and in that first week I'm going to have you set a Time to Fly song. Time to me to fly, something like that that really gets you going. I won't sing during the class, don't worry. But it's a tune that you can play to get yourself motivated, so we'll share that with one another. I think that's kind of fun. In week 3, we'll build a timeline. Are you going to be a generalist or a specialist? I'll have you do some research into your market gaps and what's out there for you that's good. In week 4, you'll craft your service just a little bit more. We'll do some research about licensing and certification, what might be needed. We'll do some brainstorming. In week 5, I talk about the fact that there's really 3 pieces of the business, not just the service itself, but some administration piece and a marketing piece. It's not all time for revenue generation time. You'll spend a lot of your time doing things like, making videos maybe, or working on a website. And so week 6 kind of leads to that. If you're looking at setting up a website, we'll get you started with that, and I'll give you all the resources you need, including an option to purchase one and get it set up for you. I'll also talk about support contractors and why those are critical, how to get your hands on some people that can help you with some of the footwork. Week 7 is about budgeting. Not my favorite, but you got to get your hands around it somehow. Tax requirements and things like that. In week 8, we'll dedicate that to personal productivity. What are some mechanisms that you'll need to have for your billing? What's your filing system? What's your invoicing system? I'll give you a lot of lessons learned on how I've set up something that works really well for me, including self-managed time. You have to be pretty disciplined. Week 9 is about marketing, networking. I'm going to have you start to brainstorm where your outreach might be and who you can bring into that network. That could be your future partners or future customers. Week 9 is about the sales process. I'm going to give you a sales process and an entry into getting somebody to sit down with you to listen. I'll call it a discovery, and I've got a surefire way to get in front of someone. So I'll share that with you in week 10. In week 9. Week 10 is about the mental ups and downs, and I think it's important to know that being an entrepreneur or out on your own or as a consultant, whatever you want to call it, has its ups and downs, and knowing that you're going to have those is really very critical. So we're going to deal with doubters, including self-doubt. In week 11, let's say you've landed a client, we'll do a case study for that and plan a project for it. And then in week 12, we're going to show you how to follow up with clients and maintain the relationships, because as consultants, you may go in and give them something really valuable, but you really want to have them as a lifelong potential client. So how you can best keep in the loop with keeping them happy and knowing that you're right there. If they happen to need you, you're the person that they'll think of calling. A lot to it, I know, a lot to it, and all of you are just a little bit different, which is why we keep the group small so that we can address everyone's unique situation. I hope that gets it for you. If you haven't seen it already on this page, know that I will dedicate 30 minutes of my time to step through your specific scenario. Let's get a feel for what's in front of you and where you are in the process. I'm glad to do it. I'd like to learn from you, and I'd like you to get more familiar with me. Everything else I think you need to know is on this page, but shoot me an email if you need to, And the Time to Fly course is exciting. I love it. I did it, and I'm super excited to share it with you. Thanks. Hope you decide to join me.